One night, we always knew when that turn was coming up if we were headed north, because there was a little footbridge that we would pass right before that turn. And on the special convoy, I was always truck number 20 because the bobtail told me, he said, I know that you'll never leave me behind. I want you to be truck number 20 in case something happens. I know that you won't leave me. So the whole time we did that, I was the very last truck in the convoy. And we were cruising up towards Alpha 59, the intersection. And we got there. I knew it was getting close, but when you get a convoy stretched out, the lead truck's 2 miles in front of you. So I knew we were getting close. I thought they should have made that turn. And at that time, I looked over and saw that little footbridge that we always looked for. And it had been blown up and pushed to the side of the road, and everybody in the convoy had missed it. So we missed that whole turn. And I called the convoy commander. I said, hey, this is tough. I just passed the turn. And the whole convoy went quiet. You could feel the tension because that was the most dangerous place in Iraq. And now we had 2 miles of convoy in the city that had all missed that turn. And we stopped immediately. We were on a 4-lane road, but there was a 2-foot cement barrier between the northbound and the southbound lanes. So we couldn't turn around unless we went over that barrier, and we were loaded heavy. And that's the most scared I ever was in Iraq, when I realized we missed that turn and that we were all inside the city. All the lights started shutting off around us. You could see people running out of their houses to get weapons, we assumed. And I heard somebody next to me say, what happens next is going to determine if you live or die, and all your friends. And it was such a real voice that I even looked over to see who was next to me, but the seat was empty. And then something that I can't explain happened, and I was outside of my body, and I was above my truck, and I could look to the front of the convoy, and I could see my friends that were 2 miles in front of me. I could look down the streets, and I could see the Iraqis running with their AKs and one with the RPG running towards us because they were going to wipe us out. And I heard the convoy commander say, lock in your axles, we got to jump this cement barrier and get turned around. And I actually watched his driver, who was 2 miles in front of me, reach up and lock in his differentials. And then the truck started hitting that curb trying to get over it. And there's no way in a million tries that 20 trucks could hit that curb and go over it without getting landing gear hung up or blowing tires out. But that night we did. From above my truck, I watched my body lock in the differentials, hit that barrier, and I saw my body being thrown back and forth, almost out of the seat because it was such a huge chunk of cement that we were jumping over. But I didn't feel anything because I wasn't there. I was above my truck watching it all. We all got turned around. Just as small arms started hitting the trucks, and guys started calling out bullet hits on their trucks from the small arms. And now that all those trucks had turned around, I was in the front. And the convoy commander yelled, "Tough, get us out of here." And from above my truck, I could look and I could see a clear path. It was like it was illuminated for me to see. And I took all those trucks out of that kill zone and followed that illuminated path back onto Sword and took them to a low base called Taji. And we stopped there and regrouped. And right after I got those trucks all turned around and everybody's safe, I was back inside my body.